Okay, we'll give it a few minutes, see what's going
Yeah.
on with everybody.
Sometimes people are just finishing up family stuff, dinner stuff, getting back from work. Who knows? How's work going for you, Estella?
I cannot complain.
You're working. That's the important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw today in a statistic is almost half of North America is unemployed.
Yeah, it's insane.
And if
Design.
I don't want to say nothing, I'm just being positive because
there you go.
Yeah, I'm still working and I try to maintain my. It's not fear, but trying to being proactive. That was a little bit the thought this week, like one guy was saying that, if you feel a slave of your job, you should do something that what you want to do, right? But that's something like having kids and a house. I never was able to do that. If unless you're alone, you adapt yourself to what you want to do. But
You're
Hi,
right.
Vicki.
That's the problem. You have to think most people never took the time to use their power to create what they really want to do.
Right.
Instead they just settled for a job.
Right.
And most millennials, that are just coming out of college, they've been programmed to do that all along. They never taught them about releasing their creative powers to, start a business of their own, instead, they're groomed to get out of school, apply for a job, and kind of puts them into the system right away.
Yeah.
And then it takes them forever to get out, if they ever do.
Well, that's what happened to me.
And those student loans. What a burden that's to start out your life with.
But that's what this is the point. I don't know if you heard, guys, there is a guy who show up now that apparently is the new king by blood in England.
I heard that too. I read it.
And I guess he submit the proof to the Pope, to the Crown, and Trump, and apparently that's the reason why the royals disappear and the queen is somewhere in the castle. But that's kind of interesting. I hope it's not another lie from the cabal,
You just never know.
I'm so
Hi,
accustomed.
Angela.
Sorry. I'm going to mute.
Oh, that's it. Philip. Hello, gang.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, the recording's on. And Vicki, do you have something to say before we get started? Hi, Kent. Vicki has her hand raised.
Yep.
I just wanted to say something about that Joseph Gregory Hallett. I just finished a video my friend sent me on this guy. It's pretty interesting stuff. But the bottom line, Estelle, is what we do with our being will penetrate anything. It doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as this guy does good, that's fine, whatever. I mean, how worse can it get? I shouldn't say that. Snap that out. But it's like, it's interesting what you just said because I just listened to a whole video on him. interesting. But we're our own creators, so get to. I have
Yeah,
a few stories I want to talk to Jim, but I want to tell him like privately. It already came. Okay, go
Good
ahead.
for you.
I'm done. I'm done for now. So,
Okay, so we're going to start tonight with Demi presenting her personal project, and then afterwards we can all ask questions or give any suggestions, and I'll leave it at that. Whenever you're ready, Demi.
Okay, well, I cannot believe what this strange and bizarre computer is doing tonight. It will work. I am convinced of it, but it's really, really frustrating. You know, all of my usual cuss words, Microsoft, are not doing it. I've got to get this thing running, and in the meantime, well, I'll just have to be what's called patient. God, I can't believe this. You know, I just want to open up Visual Studio for those who know, and it instead of opening one copy, it decided to give me 3 or maybe 4. Anyway, I complained. Okay, well, this is opening, and before I can show you and actually the whole idea, let me talk a little bit about this. This is a project whose origin came in 2018, about the time the Southern Poverty Law Center was hired by YouTube to 10,000 people to go through the billions of YouTube videos and censor them. And as a result, in late winter, early spring, we began seeing millions of videos disappearing, representing millions of hours of work by tens of thousands of people. And tens of thousands of channels disappeared, and I was horrified. I hate censorship. And, you know, all this information, critical information, was being lost. So I thought about this, and I thought, well, what can be done? And I realized that what YouTube is, it just collects videos, puts them into its environment, and then decides what people see when they do searches. And because it has a single throat or a single neck, it has the power to, you know, shut off anything it doesn't like. So it occurred to me that all you really need is, you know, a different way to store videos, but you can still access them. So instead, I decided, why not use the entire internet to store videos and just create something that just does a reference to get this out of storage or out of, you know, the internet, wherever they are located. And you just give it a name and you put the URL in there and it pulls it all together in a nice little package, very similar to YouTube. And I decided, well, why don't I just call that link box? Because that's what it is. It's a box of links. And so it's very simple in concept. You enter your link and title, and there's things you could put in it like notes and how long it's going to run and how, you know, what date and what type of media it is. You know, I realized it doesn't have to be video. It can be anything that can be displayed in a browser. So I realized that that's kind of nice because this is a nice way of kind of storing and tabulating information. And then a directory system, just like we have in, let's say, Windows Explorer, would be built in the browser, in the page, so that, you know, you could do your modifications, find your video, and so on. Now, that would be the single user. And so I thought, well, yeah, you could also do multiple users, so you could have a social kind of networking setup on this. And so that was the first stage, was a single user. The second stage is the multi-user, and where you can look at other people's stuff and actually, you know, share it. And they can share your stuff. And then the third stage is something that I am looking at, and I haven't really planned too far on it. But the problem with YouTube is that it's a single neck. And, Nero's famous, I wish the people had a single neck so I could wring it, sort of applies. And so I'm trying to avoid that. And so this is actually finally up. It's only took 20 minutes. Anyway, sorry. So I wanted to avoid that. So stage 3, because Linkbox itself is a single neck. What I want to see is that people anywhere have the ability to get information, because information to the mind is like food to the body. It absolutely requires it. And so to have the least amount of interference and the least amount of suppression of information, and of course anything with a single throat with a single gate is going to be vulnerable to the kinds of things that we've seen some from other platforms. And so with all of that in mind, what I have now is pretty much stage 1 and 2. I haven't really worked on this, it's not exactly something I enormously do. But this whole project was meant to be just for the benefit of everybody. So my profit is knowing that everybody in the world has a little extra tool to allow them to see information. Now, the nice thing also is that most of the internet is not search. Google is not a search engine, it's more of a filtering engine. And all the rest of them run off of Google or are close enough.
Excuse me, Demi. Demi, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Your sound kind of dimmed out. It's not quite.
Yeah,
it's not quite.
Oh, thanks for
It's
telling
just
me.
a little bit lower than when you first started.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Thanks for telling me, because I'm kind of doing several things with my mouth is going in different directions as I'm looking at things. Sorry. How's that?
Much better.
Okay.
Okay, I'll keep it like this. Okay. So anyway, the idea is that this I do not want to charge anything for this. And so this is kind of, well, I think fits the criteria for a project which is meant to benefit the people of the world. But of course, I myself is just one of the beneficiaries, but I benefit from a world that is more informed, more open, and it's harder to suppress information. Plus, when people can pull from the whole internet, all kinds of very interesting things can occur, because they're finding information that can be brought forward that they would never be able to show in any other means. Now, at this point, I have this thing running on my machine, but I see that I can't share my screen, and I'm wondering if that can be changed. I think, Jim, you may have to do that if it can be done.
If you make him a participant, I'm sorry. If you make her a participant,
Thanks,
do the share screen there.
Okay, I'm clicking on this, and host disabled.
Okay, participant to Spotlight Video.
No, this is a screen share. I need to show my screen.
Phyllis, do I make Demi a host?
You could do either that or participant, and she should be able to click on share screen, and then we go from there.
I think I'll just make you the host.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to, now you should be able to go to shared screen.
Yeah, if she's co-host now, she can do it.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Yeah. Aha. Okay. Here we go. First time we did. Can you see it?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, good.
It's,
Okay, get this thing. This is going to be in my way, but it won't be in yours. Okay, so here it is. I'm sorry?
Linkbox, you created this?
Yeah. Okay, so I've got this thing, this pop-up thing. Let me see if I can get rid of it. There, I think it's just about rid of. There we go. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and you just sign in. And this is all ready to go. Sign in. Sign in. There's always a surprise. Come on, sign in, you blessed thing. Oh, come on. Maybe trying to do something. Okay. This computer has decided to really take it easy tonight. Okay. So there it is. Now this is the index or the directory structure. Okay, now all of this, you can add a directory as you see, and everything in blue is private, and everything in black is public. Since I'm logging on as myself, you're seeing both the private and the public. Okay, so it's very simple. You can, make this bigger, and change this and move this back and forth. So you've got that. So if you let's see, what should I take? Oh, let's take media channels. All right, so here are the media channels. Now these generally are YouTube media channels, and what you see, oh God, this is going to drive me nuts. What you see below here are representations of all of these channels in this format. Now, the representations, the formats, this can all be changed. This has been around for 1.5 years, and I'm going to change this. But if we go to, let's say, something fun, what plants? Okay, growing roses and potatoes. Who can resist? All right, so that's what you see. And now you can run your video. I'm not going to do that. And you can create as many tabs up here as you like. And so you can do all kinds of stuff. So this can be any kind of media you want. Now, it's not the case that everything will be able to be displayed within this context. For those of you who may know, this is an iframe here, and what an iframe is a browser within a browser. So what you put in here is, basically this is a little browser that's opened up in this space right here. So if I were to, let's say, load the World Economic Forum, okay, what happens is that this iframe will not show up everything, even though it is a full-out browser within here. Certain things have been limited. So in that case, it can be opened in another tab like this, and at the bottom. And up here you can, if you want to, okay, so, all right, so, okay, so these are all the tabs. They can be moved around like all tabs and so on. And so what I've found for my own personal use is that this is extremely convenient because there's a way for me to keep track of otherwise bookmarks. And so basically I have this open all the time and I use it constantly. So if I can use it, that's a good recommendation. Other people might find it valuable too. And that's a good thing. So these are all going to be, these are going to automatically open in another tab because it's already set up that way because I know it's going to have that, and you can add a switch here. The ability to move things around is like a regular, like a Windows Explorer. You can, oh God, slow. Oh. Right. Okay, you can move things around like so. I'm not going to let it. I'll just put it back to where it came from. And also, you can move these. You can move this into different locations. Oops. Never mind. Up here is a search feature. This is a local search, which just searches all of my links that are held in memory here, so I can search my own stuff. So let's say I want to search music. Oops. Music. Okay, so it's going to look for the word music. And so here are all the content with music. Let's see. Oh, I love this. Okay. So we have some Brazilian music and so on, and there's quite a few that it found. 26 of them. If you want to go to all of Linkbox, the whole everything in it, you can do global, which is not yet implemented yet, but it will be. And that's going to be kind of an expensive search, but I have a little algorithm that seems to be working pretty well. And, well, let's see what else. Okay, so that basically down here, okay, all right, so down here are notes, and there are a lot of bugs left in here. I mean, little bugs, so on, because I don't do bugs I do them in batches. You know, I don't spend a lot of time worrying about bugs if I'm developing something. If you want to add something, this is what you do. You click on this, and you can add new. And you'll just have to put the title of the URL, and you have to find a folder for it. It's usually selected. You can put status as private, and then you have different options down here for the content, if it's video, if it's web, if it's image, whatever it is. Runtime, creation date if you want to open it in a new tab, and then notes. So it's pretty simple to use. I think it's real simple to use, actually. What I'm working on now is I want to be able to not just put a single thing here. Let's say I want a whole bunch, I want to divide this and put, let's say, 5 or 6 in this space, 5 or 6, let's say, videos. So this is what that's going to look like. Show multiple display. I want how many grids, what my grid layout, rows to columns. And where do I want to pull it from? Do I want to show all the tabs I've got up here and load all of them into this area? Or do I want to just pick the content of a directory that I've got open? So this is what you see when you click on it. Not much, just test. This area would normally be filled then with, well, just one video. It wouldn't be too much. But anyway, if there's, if there's a lot like this, you would see a whole bunch, and then it could be scrolled off the screen or scroll horizontally or scroll vertically. And plus with CSS 3D, you can also curve them, and so kind of have a curved screen that could open up. You can do a million different things as far as presenting them. Okay, so this is the single user thing, and it's just really convenient. It's really good for me to put my stuff and keep track of stuff. And so I find that's very useful, and hopefully other people will too. Anyway, as for the social media part of this, all right, so here is a site. Well, actually, this is a folder. And in the folder, it's not showing here. Nice it is. Okay, in the folder are 2 Linkbox sites. So if I click on this site, oh, shit, excuse me. That's what you see. Let's try that again. Okay, it's being a little odd. Tonight it's not doing stuff that I want. Oh, all right. So as I said, there are a few bugs. Now this is what happens if you were looking at somebody else's site. This is just a test site. Every site, I call them sites, by the way, in Linkbox. I know they're called channels or whatever they are. Has a base folder, which is the root folder, and then an unassigned folder, which is kind of the folder you put everything you don't know what to do with it yet. Okay, so if I want to, so let's say I find, I'm going to check this up in here. No, well, let's try this. Go back to this one. Oh, come on. Oh, well. Check the show. No. Okay. This is supposed to have some content in it. I can't put any content in it without doing some stuff. And the other one is misbehaving. what you can do, if you find some content in here that you like, so, you know, a video or something like that, you can just drag it right in here and drop it. If you find a folder in here that you like and what's in it, you can just drag this in here and drop it. There it is. It's empty at this point. So this way you can immediately, if you see something in another site, you can immediately pull it into your own site and it will be there. Now this is just a reference to it. It isn't actually the whole thing. It's a reference to, you're not the owner of it, so you will not have control over it. But anything that is of a content nature, not a folder, if you make that public, it can never be removed from Linkbox. Anybody who shares it or grabs it is going to be able to use it forever, because every link is public by definition on the internet. So this way you can create a whole bunch of shares with other people's site, and actually you can kind of treat this as its own thing. So you should be able to, unfortunately I can't show you anything because this is
you got a lot of you got a couple of tabs open. Maybe if you close them.
No, well, it doesn't matter quite. I think that it shouldn't, but you know, you try anything and something doesn't work right. This has content in it, but unfortunately it's not showing, and that's okay. So you'll just kind of have to imagine that. It looks like this, and all of this would be available in something like this. Not these specific ones, but something similar to that, and you'd be able to drag them and move them, you know, into your own system. So the idea with something like that is that people just generally will create folders and you know, information in the way they do, and some people are really, really good at something. If you have, let's say, you know, raising horses or something, and you're really a fanatic, and you have a tremendous amount of research and all kinds of stuff in there, people might want to just take the whole folder and drag it into their system as well. And it's very low overhead on data, because you're pulling it into your environment, and that is being added to your site, but only in a very, very small way, only with reference numbers to that data. And so the whole idea is to have a very low amount of, you know, bandwidth and, you know, storage space, and make it as cheap as possible. So that pretty much wraps up this. It's I don't think there's anything else I need to say about it. But to me, it's a way of getting around the censorship. Another thing, too, is that what's happened is there's a diaspora from YouTube now. It's going to DTube, BitChute, Vimeo, too, Brighteon. There's a whole bunch of them.
Library.
Yes, that's a good one. And so what this can do is, you know, people can put some of their content in one place or another, but it can pull them all together. So if I could put, like, Richie from Boston is constantly being, you know, banned and so forth as his videos. So if I just had one site for him, I could put all of them together wherever it's on Library or different YouTube channels. All of that can be put together under a single area, so I'd be able to have all of his stuff. And if, let's say, YouTube deletes a video, you know, no problem. You just change the URL and point it to someplace where else the video lives. Plus, you can get software if you want to turn your own computer into a streaming video if you want, or really a server that can serve stuff that you have on your system that you want other people to see. And of course, you've got security issues that you have to be, you know, kind of know what you're doing. But that's another option. The biggest problem now, as far as I'm concerned, is that Linkbox itself, well, as long as I keep control of it, I mean, I'm not going to I'm not going to do any censoring except of things that are unlawful and criminal, and that's a potential problem. But you never know in the future. It's a vulnerability, and so I would rather have a massively distributed system, and I guess DTube uses such a system. And you know, try to make this as versatile, as free, and as open to people who are not up to bad things like kiddie porn or any of the other things, and provide this so that people can have a way of communicating and without having to go through the pain and really the destruction of tens of millions of hours of work or more that has been destroyed by YouTube just because of this narrow and fearful attitude they have. So anyway, I think that sort of wraps it up. And I guess anybody who, I don't know how to get out of here. Maybe. Oh.
I think you click up on that red thing that says stop share.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So that's my project. And, well, I haven't really put a goal for myself. I mean, mainly I use it, you know, here, and I just use it on my own system, and it's really convenient. And so I've got about 800 items in there. And so, you know, but in any case, that's what I've done, and I think it's viable for getting around YouTube as well as kind of pulling together the things now from this diaspora of content. Plus, it can show anything you can see in a browser. It's a very nice way of you know, cataloging things and finding stuff. Anyway, so that's it. So I guess I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Demi. Estella has her hand up.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. Before I came to the meeting, I was listening to London Real and a doctor, and they were talking about exactly this, that the doctor was telling truth based on scientific documentation, and YouTube was banning, you know, the interviews and things like that. So what I don't understand, or what you explain, is how you're able to protect a video if you're saving the links.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're not going to be able to protect it if it's on YouTube. What you're going to have to do is make a copy of it, and if they knock it off of YouTube, you will be able to put the copy somewhere else that can be referenced, and then use that link and add it back in the link box. That's
so basically, you can also, how you call it? You said you don't want to benefit, but actually think about it. If any YouTuber have a copy of their own, it's like having a backup, and then you can still use before the delete on YouTube, people can access by searching, right? Because they have a backup in another place.
Yeah, I mean, the link box doesn't care where your URL points to. You know.
So if you have a hard drive connected to the network, can people access to that video through the link?
Well, if your hard drive is connected to the network, it means that it's going through your network software and your server software you have to have certain software on your machine running to connect it to the network. And so basically you're just a server. Every computer can be a server. And so you can do that with your own computer. And so you can do it if you had a video channel. Let's say you've got 1,000 videos, you've got years of work in them. You should have them backed up anyway. I can't imagine you wouldn't. And so with something like this, if you were afraid of losing them on Linkbox and you were afraid of losing them wherever, you could arrange with somebody who has a server that you could use and put them all on that server as a backup, or be able to load them on that server as a backup. And then if YouTube throws them out, you just put in a new link for what you would have in Linkbox, and you would be able to see that video, and you could create pretty much the same content as you would have on YouTube. And, you would be able to see, a list of all the videos. Let's say you had 1,000, you'd be able to scroll through and see 1,000 videos. Little stubs like I had on the right there. And, it would then give you the option of still having the video to look at. You could find it. And that's the advantage of being able to do this, because you are no longer, you can use YouTube for as long as they keep it up and reference it. But once they take it down, then you've got to have it on a different platform and then reference that platform by a URL.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No,
it's interesting options,
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
question,
Oh, go ahead.
unless someone else has their hand raised.
Yeah, a couple of people do. That's okay, though. Go ahead, Jim, and then I'll call on Vicky.
My question, Demi, is you look like you know what you're doing. From what I saw, it looks very similar to, I've been exploring these platforms myself, such as I mentioned Library, for one. Last week I actually tried to publish our state recording call on Library, and I had to get a hold of Michael to help me out because I went through the whole process, but it just didn't get published. So I got a hold of Michael, and he told me the reason being was that in order to publish on Library, you have to purchase what's called LBM.
Oh.
Which is, I guess, their form of, I don't know if it's a form of crypto or if it's just what they use as money, for instance, to be able to publish your site. And that's where a lot of these people you talked about, that's where they have moved to. Some of them have moved to all of the ones you mentioned, DTube, BitChute, and everyone you mentioned is on Library. I follow most of them that you mentioned. And it's a really good, clean site, and they seem to be real happy with it. And some of them are saying that any day now they'll be off YouTube for good. And they've been on YouTube, for some of them, for over 10 years. Let's say like Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante. He's been on there for 10 years. And he was talking about it today, why why they've been censoring him, but not as much as, let's say, a guy like Stefan Molyneux. What's his name? Stefan Molyneux?
Molyneux?
Yeah. He just got booted off YouTube completely.
Oh, really?
And he had 1 million viewers. And if you remember, or subscribers. So if you go back a little bit, all these people were on YouTube and they were monetized. So in order to prevent YouTube from, censoring them, kicking them off, they just demonetized, and YouTube did it anyway.
Yeah.
Like you said, to thousands of channels. If you remember, I was looking for one that I used to watch semi-frequently, Heidi Vandenberg. I don't know if anyone's familiar with her. She did some type of astrology. She was really good, had lots of subscribers. Everybody loved her. And I was looking for her on YouTube, and she's gone. So, yeah, thousands of channels have been. So what I'm getting at is, yours looks really good. how do you provide this to people and allow them to publish what they want and guaranteeing them that they won't be censored? Or does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It's a very, very important question. Here's a little blurb. I know you can't see this, doesn't matter. Here's what it says about Linkbox, and I deal with that. Linkbox offers a way to combine all of your favorite content from anywhere on the web into a single reference and display system. Any content that can be displayed in a web browser can be displayed with Linkbox. Linkbox welcomes all content from anywhere on the internet on any subject, opinion, or perspective. The only exception is unlawful or criminal content, especially any such content that involves children. So that's the message that goes out. Now, it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to enforce that. And that's been an issue that is very, very difficult, because something like this, which is really tailor-made to, you may put the darkest corners of the internet can be brought forward in somebody's. I don't have just groups that I allow at this point, because I don't want that kind of secrecy. But as far as enforcing this, it's a big issue. It's a big concern. And I really, in terms of funding, I can imagine that might be the most difficult and the most expensive part of this whole thing, is to keep that kind of thing off. But yeah, Jim, I mean, it's a good question. I do not want to remove anything, but I do not want to see child trafficking or kiddie porn or criminals. I don't want to see any of that, or in any way allow this to be a means to do that. So anyone's ideas and suggestions are really welcome.
Okay, thank you. The next one is Vicki.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I am not any way, shape, or form IT literate. So my question to you, Demi, is I'm on my laptop, and if I had a video or YouTube or whatever, even like looking through DuckDuckGo, an article I want, how would, I guess I should probably ask you that privately so I won't take up the time. How would I just click that and then just send it over the ethers to this Linkbox?
No, Linkbox is online. If you do a linkbox.com and / main, I haven't done anything to this online thing for over a year and a half. It's there. Ultimately, it'll be online, and you'll be able to create your own account. You'll be able to do exactly what you saw me doing. What you'll do is just you'll have your link, let's say, and you'll just put in the URL into that URL space. You'll give it a name and just save it to the folder you want, and then you'll be able to reference it. So it's real simple.
So you just create an account with your box, and then you go.
Yeah, right. Correct.
You just play around with it until I get the aha moment.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds
All right.
cool, except for what Jim brought up about,
It's a good question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I thank you. Ken, go ahead.
Hi there.
I love humanity. I love human beings.
Demi,
Love.
this.
Confusing kind of thing. It is confusing.
Yeah, I just went on, sweetie. Wendy's just.
I'm out of here. I love you. Thank you.
Is this through the web? I see an address as an HTTP. Are you on a secure sockets layer or just HTTP?
I don't want to be in secure sockets for this, actually.
Okay, so you're just on a normal HTTP.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do secure sockets, but I haven't had to deal with that directly yet. Because I mean, it's just sitting there on the web, and there's nothing there that's going to compromise anything.
I just have a question about that. I'm not saying making a judgment.
Oh, okay, good. Please. Please.
Yeah. It says you've got a local host, and then of course your a number, and then your index HTML. So you're going through the web, as I understand it. Now there's a couple questions I have that were answered already. That the links are saved, but it's not memory in the cloud. Am I correct? So
Oh heavens, no! Oh no! No, it's in my own servers. The local host, I'm just running this off of this local machine, my little laptop here. That's where you see localhost.
Right, there's my question about you. So you're not on, you're just building your index HTML right now, and you're not on the web, correct?
Well, there's a version of it on the web from a year and a half ago, which is pretty incomplete, but it's sitting there. You can look at that, but it's
okay. No judgment. I'm just curious.
Oh no, I'm just telling you, it's not much to look at, but it's there. That's where I was going to load it up, but I decided, wait, I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay, and the other one was filtering out of the dark web stuff, and you've already mentioned that. Jim mentioned that. That's going to be a toughie. You can find those filter engines, Demi. I think you would, if you're aware of what you're doing to the point to where I see that you're aware of what you're doing, you should be able to find a filtering engine that, well, most of them are AI, but they're simple. They're not smart AI. It's just a program that is looking for, that is probably within a security company that is well known, that might be able to, that knows by updates what these URLs are that you may be concerned about on the dark web, especially with nasties, the clowns, and pizza and crap like that. Let's see here. So you would save your video on your own machine, and then you'd come through. If YouTube or somebody else knocks you out, you'd be able to assign another URL to it.
You'd have to have your own machine set up as a server, and then you'd have to reference that URL. And so you couldn't. I've checked, and I don't think there's too much built in the way to prevent you from directly pulling from your own computer and showing it on the web. It's just not very likely, and probably not a good idea.
But the link, you can change your link, as I understand it. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right. The other questions I had have already been answered by other people, so that's about all I've got right now. Congratulations there. Nice.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, anybody else have any questions? I don't have any other hands raised right now.
Yeah. So Debbie, if this is a project that you want to put forth, what's wrong with accepting a fee for providing the service?
It just goes against the grain for me. The whole thing about a fee, I would much rather people just be able to get on and use it, and that's I just want this experience for everybody. I don't want anyone shut out of here or having to worry about a fee. And so, yeah, I mean, I could, but it just doesn't seem right. I'd rather that everyone knows this is just like in the public domain. It's like a town square where everybody owns it. That's kind of my feeling,
How does YouTube generate funds?
I'm probably not the best person to answer that, but I think advertising is one of them.
Okay, so, and by way of that, that's how they pay their monetized channels, correct?
I would guess so, yeah. Advertising and PayPal and Patreon and, charging a small monthly fee. I mean, I'd rather, at this point, if I could afford it myself, I'd just say, never mind, this is for everybody, use it, benefit by it. And in my sense, I get a sense, my profit is knowing that everybody in the world has a connection to information that, you know, is not impeded. That would be what I would like. But the real monetary nature of this would make that, if this were to scale out to millions of users, let's say, there's no way I could afford it. So yeah, those options, Jim, are you know, they are there. Probably a small fee of maybe $2 or $3 a month would be sufficient for most people.
Okay, well, I noticed that you had the Life Force video up on the left-hand corner.
Oh.
Of what you were showing us.
Oh yeah.
That appeared to be your what, back office?
No, that was just a tab, the tab that I have open in the browser that also was showing Linkbox.
Okay, so if you were to have a channel such as LifeForce, and you like again, if you want this to be your project, why wouldn't you approach? I'm assuming LifeForce is connected to the Speak project, or why wouldn't you approach them for funding and explain to them what you explained to us, that you want this to be put out there free for humanity?
I could do that if the funding comes out from the trust. I was thinking that could be done, and then, you know, then it could be kind of scaled up and, you know, more programmers hired to do more of the work. But I think that LifeForce, if they were willing to do it, that might be an approachable way to do it too. You know?
Just throwing some ideas.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Hi, Philip. Go ahead, Phil.
Hi there. Let's see. To me, that looks really cool. I pulled it up on the Brave browser, and I'm going to look at it later to create an account. So it shows all this.
You can't. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. You can't create an account yet, but you know.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Anyway, it shows all this music and stuff. So
yeah.
That's what I pulled up. So okay, it's a pretty cool idea. Was there a networking issue? Did you want it to be bigger? I've heard some things, if you want more people involved and that kind of stuff, that it would be more of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, the more people involved, you know, if it scales up, you're gonna be, you know, putting more load on the server, because the information is stored in one place, would be the server, and that's going to be charging bandwidth and memory storage and database lookups.
So if you have something on your server that you're putting out or making available for people.
Well, there'd be one server for everybody, and so when somebody forms an account, that all of their links would be stored on that same server, and so that server would handle all the accounts. And if 1 million people were using this thing, they would all be pulling from that server, and you know, so that would create, you know, demand on that server, which would have to be able to meet.
Okay, so this couldn't be done as an app that could live on your computer or each person's computer, and just manage those links and stuff like that?
Well, Philip. It looks like we're talking a little bit on stage 3 here.
Okay.
This is yes, yeah. That's okay. Partly stage 3.
Okay. Then another thought that I had was, I saw one of your links there was to American Intelligence Media.
Oh yeah.
Right. So if you've been watching them long, then I assume you know about Americans for Innovation.
Yes.
And Michael McKibben.
Correct.
and they created this software which got stolen, which created the ability for all the scaling up of the networking that made social media and Google and Facebook and all this stuff possible. So, right. And they've got $1 trillion lawsuit out there, which I haven't heard anything about it happening, but because it got stolen. So I'm wondering if you would want to contact them and just see if run it by them, if they wanted to participate with this or something like that with your idea. They have got a lot of that software was just out there and became a lot of things, including the basis for Bitcoin, et cetera, and crypto. So with just another profile, that number is just another profile basically for each coin, like each person on Facebook. So I don't know. That's what I'm pulling in. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with that or how that might be useful, but they have good intentions. Michael McKibben had great intentions with all that. Yeah. There might be something useful with that. And then one final comment is that you put something out there like this, and like Craigslist wanted to be free and useful for everybody, and then it turned into a monster and took monster amounts of upkeep and all of that stuff. Lots of people can't just do that for free. So it still takes time and server and all that stuff. So yeah, if it could get just funded and taken care of by the trust or something like that, perhaps, but it would still take energy to look after it, to keep fostering it and protection and whatever. And as far as I know, nothing is completely unhackable, although Kim and the trust might be able to tell you something about being unhackable. So maybe that could be hooked in with the quantum system or something like that. I don't know.
Great ideas, Phil. Stage 3 is this distributed thing, and I haven't thought much about it. And also, I'm a little reluctant, but it's not that reluctant to talk about it because that's the really sensitive stage. And I know we've got clowns in everything. I mean, you just about lift up your toilet seat and there's a clown. I mean, they're everywhere. They're just totally. So every point of power in the world is a clown. So, but I think that a distributed system would benefit very much by having a number of maybe thousands of nodes that can serve and combine. And so, yeah, that's really cool. As far as Americans for Innovation, I am incredibly impressed with Michael McKibben. And, they work very well closely with American Intelligence Media, and Thomas has given them special notice as being, not so great. Their factions. I mean,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like you don't really know who's who out there. But for getting technical advice or information from them might not be a bad. I think I'd like meeting Michael McKibben anyway. He seems like an incredible guy, and I think you can kind of tell by the feelings that he's got some really good stuff going. So it might be interesting just to have a chat. It might be worth a drive to whatever, Ohio or something, or just to have a chat with him at some point too.
You could probably do that on Zoom these days. I mean, come on.
I guess. Yeah, it's some good ideas, Phil, and everybody. I appreciate that.
It looks really impressive idea. It's be easier for me to go and hook up all my feeds and all the content. I go and save a YouTube video, share it to the internet, and then with little codes on there, so that for the type of thing it is, including emojis. etc. So certain emojis mean it's this kind of content. And so then I can just search for anything with that emoji and pull up, emails with all of that stuff. It kind of lives out there with those links.
Oh.
That's a way that I do it. But
Okay.
so this looks very interesting. So anyway, enough. Thanks.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. All right. Hello, Sean. Go ahead.
Hey guys. Yeah, Demi looks great. I really like the layout of it. It's a nice layout, and I like the organization of it and everything. So yeah, I think it's awesome. I was just wondering, did you say before that you could put videos, like you can upload videos? Do you have like a video player on it or no?
Well, you can play videos in the browser. It'll just play whatever link you have.
Gotcha.
So if it's a link to a video, it'll play it.
Yeah, but if you like, because I saw if you have your own account, maybe you can even add if it's like an account, maybe it can also be like a channel, kind of like YouTube. That way.
Can you publish videos? I think is what Sean is
Oh
asking.
yeah. Can you publish videos? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you could, all you need to do is create a folder and put your videos links in that folder with the names and so forth, and make them all public. And anybody who comes along can look at all that, and actually you will be able to see everything they have, and that would be, I guess, publishing. So, and you'd be able to see all of the videos that they've made public in a public folder. And then if you liked it, you could actually pull the whole folder into your environment too. And so you wouldn't have to go to their site if you liked it that much. Or you could just pull individuals in there. I think does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think because really I'm just kind of getting sick of YouTube, because it's just they just in other places because they're just removing videos.
They're terrible.
And we do have to at a certain point just download these videos. If we see a good video, we should be downloading it. Like that's kind of what it comes down to nowadays. Like I think that's kind of what we should be doing, because same Jim, like what you were saying, I found a YouTube channel from the THI group, and I subscribed to it because I wanted to make sure I was getting their videos, and then I checked and the channel's gone. Like completely gone. So I'm like, and there's no way, I don't even know, like it was just the letters like A and H in capitals, so I don't even know like who they were.
I think Michael might have taken that off of YouTube, and he wants to put the state calls on our website, weekly state calls recording on our website rather than YouTube. I noticed that too, that it wasn't posted this last week. But if anybody didn't see, Sean posted a really cool animated video.
Oh, thanks.
on the page. Do you have that available in front of you?
I can screen share it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, I can bring
Well,
it.
when we're finished here with Demi, this is her call tonight. In the second hour, maybe I can make you the host, and you can share that video with everyone.
Sure, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
All right, great.
After I'm done, yeah, because I was gonna say more. I was gonna ask more. I was just saying to Demi, because I like the layout also of the whole of the link box, because when I'm like searching the internet, or when I'm on the THI group, I'm finding all these good articles, and like, because people post really good stuff. I mean, you just go on that Facebook group, and like, there's some really great, like really good videos. Like, it's really blown my mind. Like, it's really opened my mind to, what's going on out there. So, and like, a lot of them are getting taken down when I go back there. The videos aren't there anymore. But yeah, so like, but the thing about the Facebook feed is like, it's just a news feed, so it just goes away, and it's like horrible, categorization and everything. Like, there's no like, ability to be categorized or anything. So yeah, like, it just falls away and you never see it again, like on Facebook. But in this way, you can actually, with Linkbox, you can actually take those links and put them somewhere, and you'll be able to find them.
If you can get them away from Facebook.
Right.
If you can't link to Facebook if they take them down, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise you can. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to develop something that could be easily put on someone's computer. It'd be secure, and they could just have their own server situation and just drop in whatever they want and run it off of there. And that's something that might be good for stage 3, and because this needs to be distributed. So if people could do that, I know there is software to do that, but I just look at the security in that and get a little concerned. So but yeah, if you can, there is something you can actually create a video from a screen video. It'll record the visuals and it'll record the sound.
Right.
And I think that's the only way I know of to actually get something from YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook. I don't know either. I don't know how to, like, even you would think I would know that, but I have no idea how to get. Like, I don't know how to get a video off of Facebook, or other than screen grab, or like Twitter. For instance, I don't know how to get anything off of Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I don't either.
Page, but yeah, like YouTube has like YouTube to MP4 or something. So that's pretty easy.
That's cool. Yeah.
You can do that. But yeah, no, like there's that one video of President Ghana from South Africa. I think he was talking about the Rockefeller Papers.
Oh yeah.
Like, I noticed they're taking that down like left and right. They're taking that video left and right. And like, I'm searching for it, and like, the way you can tell they're taking it down is there's like it's recently uploaded, like a bunch of people using it from like a couple hours ago or a day ago. So it's like, oh wow, they're really taking that thing down. Like, that must be real then.
Yeah, YouTube is really rotten. They really are rotten. I right now I just download everything that I like, because I just assume it's not going to be there very long.
Yeah, I gotta download that video, because it's amazing. I mean, it's like, wow, dude, that guy is like, more power to that guy. Like, I want to. Hopefully, he's for the people. Yeah.
I don't think it was the president or the head of Ghana, president of Ghana, though. I think that was a mistake. It's somebody else. But,
well, I've seen that guy before. Well, maybe is it the wrong? Is it not the picture of the right guy?
I think the text is wrong, but still, it.
Well, yeah, it's a recording too, so it's not like the actual video of the guy saying it. So,
but yeah, right now I just assume everything I see and I like. If I want it, I better save it and download it.
Yeah, but those Rockefeller Papers are real though. It's like,
oh yeah.
So.
Deborah Tavares has some amazing stuff on that.
Mm-hmm. Also, I saw a video from this guy from 2014. It's been circulating of, like, I think his name's Harry Vox. I think he's a journalist, and he talked about this exact thing, that they were going to use Ebola to do that, to do what they're doing now, and they're going to make Ebola a big thing, but they didn't do it with Ebola. Obviously, they did it with COVID. But it's the same thing.
That's why I wanted to do this, because. And especially with stage 3, so that's like doing whack-a-mole, and they whack one and the other will pop up. It'll just keep popping up all over the planet. And so people will be able to have this have a much better chance of seeing stuff that we really need to see, because those papers, Rockefeller papers and all that other stuff are really, really valuable.
Yeah,
And
that's really
it's amazing they're even still on, available,
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
Okay. Well, Jim, if I guess you want to make Sean co-host too, so.
Yeah, only if Demi's done.
I'm done, Jim, if you want to just
Okay.
switch back to normal mode.
Okay, so again, this Wednesday call is going to be all about personal projects. And next week, I believe it's Angela. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Angela, and followed by Ken on the third week.
Oh,
So
great.
thanks, Demi, and feel free to come to this Wednesday night call and give us updates on your progress, or ask questions for anybody that can help you out along the way. Looks great to me. I would definitely go forward with that, and just my opinion.
Well, thank
Jim,
you.
is this a good? Jim, is this a
Go
good time to mention
Yeah.
the Eco Village?
I'm going to make an announcement while Sean's putting his video together, and I will transfer the host over to him so he can screen share it. And yes, the group Project Mind call that we discussed last week, the first one's going to be Monday at 7 p.m. Reason being was there was a time when we switched this call from Wednesday to Monday, and it worked pretty good for some and not so good for others. But a lot of those people aren't with us anymore. So if anybody who wants to participate in that group Project Mind call that can't make it on Monday and would rather have it on another day, or if anyone else has any suggestions for another day and time, now's the time to say.
Is that a separate call? We're not switching
Right.
over. It's
That's
just
going to be, it's going to be for our group project
Gotcha.
that we discussed last week.
I think I might be able to do it.
Okay, so if no one's opposed,
I have,
go
Philip,
ahead, Philip. Go
I
ahead.
have like 3 calls on Monday nights that I choose between. And, one of them is recorded, so I don't attend that, and then I try to get to the recording later. But I have to choose between the other 2. And so I'm wondering, a Tuesday night would be fine with me, no problem. Thursday nights, just once a month is a problem, but not actually. We just finished, so it'll be 2 months before that's an issue. And Friday nights, no problem. Monday night's a big problem for me, so.
About two for group Tuesday, two.
I have a little bit of an issue with doing Tuesday and Monday, but Jim, I was just wondering if we could, maybe that's not the most efficient, but could we split 2 Wednesdays a month for the group Mind Eco Village thing and 2 for individual projects? In other words, split it up, but keep Wednesday. Just my thought.
Anybody?
This is Philip again. It sounds to me like we should have a separate night, though, for the Eco Village, because that's much more detailed and et cetera. But that's your call. I don't know.
Okay, so what if we were to combine the both and have them on Wednesday, both of them. The first hour and a half devoted to personal projects, and the second hour and a half devoted to the group mind project.
I like that.
I like that.
I like that.
And if old
Let's-
farts like me have to drop off, I just drop off.
Yeah, we give it a try,
Yeah,
and then we
10-4.
see. Yeah.
Okay, so we can get into a little bit of that right after Sean. I'm going to switch this over to Sean and Demi, you need to do it because you're the host now.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
If you can pull up participants and click on Sean Willits, and you should be able to transfer the host to him.
Make host.
Yes.
Okay, Sean, you are now the host.
Sweet.
Perfect. Thank you. Perfect.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I have it up. So here it is. Can you guys see it?
Click, click
yeah,
on share screen.
I got
Click
it.
on share screen.
Yeah, there we go. I got it.
Cool.
Can you see it? All right. Cool. So yeah, this is just the. It's on Facebook, but I'll just show it to you guys now. Hopefully, it won't be choppy or anything. Yeah, there it is. Did it play
That
all
looks
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's your People's Club.
What's that?
4 seconds worth. Yeah.
That's
But
your
it's
That's good
beautiful.
graphics.
Club,
It's
Nice
People's
beautiful.
Club symbol. Do you have your animated video available?
This is the one, is it not?
No, the
It's
morning.
not playing.
Morning.
What's showing is your New
Oh.
Earth, California symbol.
Oh, right. You're talking about morning?
The animated video that you put up on Facebook.
Oh, that. Oh, right. Yeah, I completely blanked. Yeah, no, the one with the animals.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can show you that. Yeah, totally. Hold on. Let's see.
That's a beautiful logo.
Oh, thanks.
Show us your talent, Sean.
Cool. Yeah, my pleasure. I gotta find the
But
right one.
needs a little bit of blue.
Little bit of blue. Yeah,
Oh,
I could do that.
picky.
Somebody was saying I should make it a little slower, and I would love to do that. It just takes a long time. So I'd have to insert more animation frames, so it might take a little bit, but I definitely like to make it slower.
And actually, this week I was listening. We are the tree of life.
Yeah.
So I think that's very powerful.
Okay, let me see. Is this? Oh, man, I want to find the high quality one. Sorry, I didn't see. I swear it was here. Receipts. Yeah, I think. Well, I'll just play this one. Oh, here it is. Yes, I think I found it. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, great. Found it. Cool. All right. Let me see if I can. So, can you see it? Everybody see it? Sees it?
Yeah.
I see
just gonna have
black.
to hit play.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. As long as you see black, that's good. All right. Cool. There you go.
Very, very cute.
All right.
Very cute.
Great. That's
I
great.
like the sense of humor.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, no,
I
Good
love it.
whimsy. Good whimsy.
thank you.
So it's the expression speak, like speaking with no words, the look, the body posture.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thanks. I wanted to do something. I want to do something hopeful.
Yeah.
Something about waking up, and that's to promote people waking up. And I was waking up one morning, and I was really groggy. And I was like, oh man, that'd be great. Just like the idea just came to me, like I'd love to see animals like just acting like humans in the morning, like waking up, like maybe they're the same way, they're groggy as well. So, just,
like a little bit of sense of humor, but it's true, like the little birds, they're all happy and, giggling, and mom or dad is like grouchy, like really. And it's almost like saying the baby needs to go and put the smile in the face, like, because it's true. We are taken by our emotions, when in reality, when that moment that the sun comes up, it's the most beautiful.
Yeah.
And the sounds that you put, I do that in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my best time of the day. I've been up since 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been doing. Actually, I don't know if you guys feel the energy coming heavy, that you like feel sleepy along the day, like you want to kind of take a nap. Well, a lot of energy, and I love what you did. I just want to say you're very talented.
Thanks. Yeah, I want to do more. I want to do more things that are about that like waking up and because it's the only thing I want to speak truth and tell people about what's really going on, but in another way I don't want to be ostracized by my friends or whatever. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll try and do something that makes them happy, makes people happy, but also makes, I don't know, puts it out in the universe, like, to wake up, like kind of wake up. And, you make a good point about like how in the morning, it's like groggy, but it's a beautiful morning, like, and I hopefully that's what's happening now. We're just really groggy and we don't want to wake up, and that's why we're angry at each other. But really it's like a beautiful, awakening that's happening, or, morning that's happening.
Well, actually, the point is like we are creatures of our routines. You get the same cup every morning, you do your coffee in the way you like it. Unless you're super hyper and ADHD, you live a day completely different every single day. But the normal people, you do the same thing every morning. Yeah. And what I learned, if you change anything, every morning you do something different, because your brain has to observe and create a new, thing, move your arm, look, because you're doing it different, you create a new neural pathways, but then you're more connected to the moment.
Sure. Yeah.
Because,
sure.
and I saw that with reflected in my parents. I went to visit them, and you feel much happier, I think is the way to say, or like a free spirit when you live with no norms and routines, because you're like the explorer. Well, what am I going to do? What am I going to have?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's being awake.
Yeah, it is.
So that's something maybe give you an idea too.
Yeah, no, I'm also open for more ideas, because that one really was a miracle that I thought of that.
I'm thinking of one that maybe you could incorporate creatures coming in out of the rain. It's like a stormy, gloomy day with rain coming down, and they're covering themselves under things and trying to find ways to get out, to get shelter. And then there's some sunlight coming up, and there's a big old rainbow, and everybody's happy and that kind of stuff. I know it sounds corny as heck, but it's the general idea.
Well, you know,
that even though you might go through some gloomy stuff, there's a sun going to come. You know it's going to come.
Yeah. And like, you know, like bad times are always, you know, they never last. You know, it's another way of saying they never last. Usually the calm is longer than the violence or whatever. That's another thing I was thinking about too. It's like whenever there's violence, it always just passes, and usually things just chill out, you know, so.
Well, there's another idea. You get neighbors across the fence and they get in an argument.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here comes one neighbor's little boy and maybe the other neighbor's little girl, and they're saying, "Why are you fighting?" And you know that kind of stuff. But you'd have to do it. You're not doing it with dialogue. You're doing it with just music and visual.
Right.
So
I mean,
you have to figure a way to show that.
Yeah, within 6 feet.
Oh, too funny.
Actually, it would be great. I love cartoons.
Oh yeah, no, I was lucky enough to be able to do it without any dialogue. This one without any dialogue, so I'm gonna try and do that with, you know, more of them. Also, I just like doing you know, animals, like people as animals. That's just, you know, it's just better that way.
I you know, even kids learn from these little movies, because imagine, you know, like Bugs Bunny and the duck always used to be a little bit more like opportunist and take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly another animal that comes with integrity or do it in the right way, and then, you know, the duck correct himself, you know, like saying, "Oh, okay, no, sorry, apologize," or something, because people don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they think, you know, they come walking like, I'm better than you, push people, and, you know, something kind of like that, when in reality we're supposed to be respectful. We don't need 6 foot apart. We just need to be respectful so people are feeling okay, you know?
Yeah. I think you know, I can use, you know, media to help with that, you know, hopefully bring people some sense. That's because that's kind of what we need. And, you know, if any of you watch the you know, just switching subjects, but I'm just curious if you guys watched it, the Life Force thing, the thing that Tank posted, but also he posted the Zoom meeting as well with Kim. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
Yes, I did.
I did.
Well, it's good because they're talking about how important media is. And I think they're going about it the right way. Hopefully, you know, it's true, and, you know, here's hoping.
But for example, I don't use the mask, but when I kind of observe the faces of the people, if they feel kind of intimidated because I don't have the mask, I kind of stop and say, "Go ahead, you know, you give the space." And I feel, and I'm considerate, you know? And so not necessarily you need to have a mask, you just keep your distance and you're being respectful. I mean, that's better than lose your oxygen.
The thing I liked the most out of their video was Kim mentioning they're setting up enforcement teams, enforcement units.
Yeah.
And she also answered the question that I heard other people ask a couple months ago, if they already had enforcement teams, and she answered that question, saying in her particular situation, I think she said there were 30,000 security people, or 20,000 where she is, and 30,000 in, I think, the Middle East, she mentioned.
No, she said Europe she said Europe
Right.
will have like 100,000, 35,000 in South America, and about another 30 or 25 here. But there were people more waiting to join.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tank was saying he was talking to like 100,000 different groups or something, or like different like people, like or something. That's really encouraging.
Yeah, that's been the biggest problem all along for a lot of different groups, such as National Liberty Alliance. You know, they've been around for 10 years and doing all these things in the courts, but they don't have any enforcement unit, you know? So they never really accomplished too much.
Yeah. What I like about it is it's more of a defense, you know, more of defending. And not like, we're going to go get those guys, you know, like it's more like, well, we're just protecting innocence. You know, I just like the thought process behind it. It feels like there's the thought process behind everything she's saying is just well thought out. And, you know, I can't really, you know, see a problem with it. So I'm just hoping, you know, that it's all true. You know, it's just, we'll have to see. Another thing I was thinking, that she could do, it would be great. You know, there's a lot of potential with the UNC. There's a lot of potential for it, especially with like going online, being able to approve these things, because a lot of it has to do with proving to people that these things are going on. But yeah, like I was thinking about an idea recently, like, well, like, you know, they're like military, you know, leaders that know like loads of secrets, you know, and if they could just, you know, explain everything that's going on, you know, every dirty secret there is, maybe that could, you know, really help, you know, because there's a lot of like everything's done kind of militarily, and you know, and maybe if there's somebody that's willing to come out and be on one of those broadcasts, like that could really make some big waves, you know. So that's another thing about, you know, disclosure overall that could help. But I'm just trying to visualize that, because I'm like, I don't know if there's nothing I can do to help that happen. But like, you know, at least, you know, put it out into the universe. Like that'd be great, you know, if that could happen. You know, exposing.
Hey, if that Bundy Ranch video is out there, watch that. Maybe that'll get you inspired too. Remember the old Bundy Ranch situation? I don't even know if that video is
and
still
Netflix.
around.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Ah,
Bundy
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, she mentioned that on that video, saying for the first time I heard that whole Bundy Ranch thing and those BLM properties were all about rare earth metals.
Like what they did to Paradise.
Yes.
China too.
Yeah.
Okay, Vicky's got her hand up.
Yeah. So I don't know how to find that channel that she's on, so I can listen to it.
I just stumbled upon it
Speak
on
Project.
YouTube, and it wasn't listed as Speak Project. It was just listed as, well, Demi had it up top of her page that she was showing us. It was called the Life Force video.
Life Force video.
That's how you put it up. So
Life Force Launch.
Yeah, this is on YouTube. It's called Life Force Launch.
Launch. That's right. I'm sorry.
And if you look at the notes below there, it says join Zoom meeting. I clicked on that link, and at this point, nothing seems to be happening, or maybe something's happening now. In any case, but if you look at the notes below the video, you'll see towards the bottom, join Zoom meeting, and I think that's probably where it is.
So you go to YouTube and you look for the Life Force Launch, and then scroll down, find the info.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've only listened
you might also find it if you put Speak Project into the search bar.
Okay.
And then you know, all of the videos will come up, and it probably was put on by the Speak Project. It was just it wasn't labeled that.
Oh, but then won't it have a subheading saying who's going to be, what's their title for that day? Because I don't really want to hear all of his stuff. I just want to hear.
It is the Speak Project. You could do it either way, Life Force Launch or Speak Project, and it's June 29th, so it's just got to be one of the last videos that they put up. In fact, probably it is.
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else?
Where's Kimberly?
Probably trying to cool off after trying to keep the farm going in the heat. Although maybe their weather wasn't too bad because it hasn't been that hot.
Where's that sparkling star? I want to hear the voice.
That's right. That's right. If she watches this video later, we're going to say, Kimberly, you're missing in action, girl.
Yes.
Hope everything's okay.
Yes.
So why don't we finish up with our discussion concerning the group mind call for the rest of the evening. If anybody has any questions, again, we're going to hold it on the second hour and a half of the Wednesday projects call.
Oh.
It'll still
Sounds
start
good.
Or should we start earlier?
Well, I mean, 7 would be great for me. I don't know if starting earlier would be possible for me, but yeah.
Oh, are you talking about starting it, doing from 7 to 8 for the individual projects and then going 8 on for
have
after?
it on the same night, Wednesday night, starting at 7 p.m., ending at 10 at the latest.
Well, I was thinking that what Vicki was saying is maybe not go that late, but go from 7 to 8 for the individual and then 8 and however long people can stay for the group mind. Is that what you were saying, Vicki?
Something like that. I was just trying to see how we could squeeze it all in without having to be on all night.
Okay, well, just using this call tonight, Demi went over the first hour.
Shame on you.
And on into, let's say, 8:30. So if we just split it down the middle, an hour and a half for the individual projects, an hour and a half afterwards for the group mind call.
Yeah, just see how it goes. Just give that a try and see how that goes. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
And you can talk as long as you want, Demi. It's okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't all you, Demi. You got questions. You had to answer questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I figure that if it kind of went long, we could have wrapped it up sooner, but I didn't really think there'd be a problem. I don't know. Okay.
Anyone? Go ahead.
I want to say hello to Bill. Bill Chile. How you
Bill.
doing, Bill?
Hi, Rochelle. Nice to see your face.
Hi.
How are things out there in the big bad world?
Everything's good. I'm just out running the dog and playing golf, and got yelled at by some lady because my 2-pound dog was running on the green, as I'm 6'4", 210, and apparently I'm okay. But anyways, so yeah. Everything's good. Business is good. I like that project. I keep hearing that Tank wants to buy YouTube, so maybe you can intertwine them somehow. But who knows? Who knows? You know, Tank talks a lot. So, but I like that idea. I did get on Bitcoin, and I hate it. I mean, it's a pain in the butt. You don't get alerts. They automatically put you onto, like, they put me onto music videos that I don't even like. And it's really hard to navigate.
Are you
And
talking BitChute?
BitChute.
BitChute. So navigation's key, and alerts are key. What else? For me, anyways, I'm not all that computer savvy at all, but everything sounded good. I guess if they want to take something down, you can put it wherever and they can get it. But hopefully that changes. And yeah, and someone chimed in and said, yeah, once you get really big, it's going to cost a lot to keep it going, but let's hope you get there. And then we can, adjust. If it takes off, it takes off. Then you'll have all the funding you need. So, but yeah, I've been listening. I've been paying attention. I've just haven't, we haven't really moved along. But that's it. I'm just sick of this pandemic, fake ass crap, and wearing a mask and seeing all these stupid arguments and watching everyone call each other a racist. And then as soon as the election's over, it'll all stop. And they'll pretend like they were never doing it. It's just nuts. But that's my report for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really have anything exciting. I'm looking at another restaurant. I found a guy from Ecuador who is a friend of my manager's, and I've been talking with him, and I really like him and his wife. They speak pretty good English, and I think I'm going to do it if we find the right spot. We can get them for nothing, and we'll be getting this for nothing. He found a spot with all the equipment. All we got to do is sign a lease and go in and get permits. So it's like a free move in. So, which is really good, because when I moved in, if I didn't get a previous restaurant, I would have had to pay $85,000 for a water hookup. I would have had to pay $30,000 for a grease trap, and hoods are another $40,000. So there's all that money saved right there. And we have all the pizza equipment. It used to be, I forget what it used to be, but yeah, they couldn't make it through. The guy had like 4 of them, and 3 of them, he had to take all his money out, and he couldn't hold on to this last one. So unfortunately, this shutdown got him on 4 restaurants. So I feel really bad about that. But I don't know, you never know what these guys got going on behind the scenes either. So we're looking at doing that. This will be up in Sacramento. So I'll be commuting. But we'll see how it goes. It could fall through, and we'll just kind of play it out. But I want to get out of California. Hopefully my daughter, I don't know. I can't handle it here. I've been here my whole life, and making a move out of state would be really hard, because I've been in the same 2-mile radius for 50 years. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. But everyone sounds good. You guys are moving forward. I am a routine guy. I do the same thing every day. I eat the same thing every day. And after hearing her say that tonight, I am changing everything.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm so glad you did. I am, because I was sitting here going, God, I go up this cart path at the same time every night with the same thing. I hit the same club. I use the same ball. I am freaking a robot. I need to change that. So I'm really glad you said that. Thank you. And that music was awesome. I'm going to wake up to music instead of YouTube and with the TV on to see what the hell they're lying about today. I'm changing.
Can I add something?
Sure, Go ahead.
when I was young, I used to have, my sister had a Citroen. It's a French car. And I'm the youngest, so I received her car that was also from my mom, right? So that was already beat up, the car, by the time I got it. So we transformed it to like a little fiberglass, looked like a Jeep, but the engine was the Citroen, right? So I got the sticker when I went to Brazil, and it was written in Portuguese in big black letters. And it says, this is the idea, because I'm not going to do the translation exactly, but it's, I don't have everything what I want, but I love what I have. And this is related to abundance. Abundance is within us, exactly with the little things that we do every day, and we create. And you're going to maybe find a TED video of these African kids that they create a business from nothing. And they have themselves and the attitude and, you know, and creativity. And that's what you're doing, Bill. So this is part of everything is within us, in our attitude and our mind. You know, and it's inside us. It's just put it in motion and loose it up, because we become rigid, like, oh, I cannot do this, or, you know, or sounds silly. We limit consistently, you know, oh, I'm too old for this. But I'm 50. I don't know how old I am. I am in the upper 55 to 57. I don't do the math anymore. But I feel like I'm 30, you know, like the kid that did the animation, and I love it. And I saw the cartoons, and I feel like when I was young watching Bugs Bunny and, you know, and all the cartoons that made me laugh. And I learned from watching that. So our mind is timeless. So that's very powerful. If we really realize what we have in our hands, you know, we can do anything. I just want to say that. Yeah.
Simple, profound concept, Bill.
Yeah.
If you want things in your life to change, you have to change the things you're doing in your life. Period.
Well, I can predict it. If you mapped me, you'd know where I'd be at 2:15. I need a change.
Got to change your route.
Yep. Come home a different way.
I can help you. Send me the phone, and I'll check you out with the iPhone, you know, where I find you.
Yeah, I'm on. You can track me on Snapchat. I've got a tracker on there. No, I don't take it off.
Okay, Rochelle's got her hand up.
Hi, Rochelle. You appear to be unmuted, but you're not coming through.
Rochelle? Oh, maybe she's having an issue with her sound, or?
How about now? Is that better?
Yes.
I can hear you now.
Okay, let me go back to Zoom. Sorry
You muted yourself and it works.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Can you hear me now? I don't know if you can see me, but can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you now. Now we can see.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, are you there? Okay. Okay, so, what was I going to say? Well, I wanted to say one thing is what's helped me with the breaking the routine. I hate to say this is this whole COVID thing, because I was like a gym rat. You could track me, same as the other gentleman was saying. And can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And this has forced me to find a totally different everything. So it's been great. It's been great, and it's been hard. But what I see is that it's when you are forced to do something different, it changes your whole vibration and it shakes it up. and it allows new things to come in your life. So it's really been a blessing as far as that's concerned. And Stella has said that Stella, thank you for that. And then another thing that I didn't get to share with you guys with my profile, I don't know why I didn't say this, but I take people in. That's what I do. I've known this since I was a little girl, that I would take people in and help them. And so right now I have 6 people in my house. My living room and my dining room I've set up for bedrooms. People with cancer, whatever the issue is, and I try to help them eat better and learn that there are other ways to heal and cure brokenhearted people. I've done this for, I guess, 23 years now. I've had some funky experiences, but for the most part, it's been astounding. And so I'm going to try to put together some sort of a project for that, to help people where I could have like a bigger facility. So that was another thing. And then the third thing I wanted to share is, Jim, I've been listening to Kevin Trudeau. Wow. Thank you. This is blowing my ever-loving mind. So, and that's it. I love everybody here. I'm so grateful for this group. Oh my gosh. So I love you guys. Thanks. I'm going to mute again.
Thanks,
Rochelle.
Rochelle. Thank you very much. Estella has got a message here that Kimberly texted. Go ahead, Estella.
Yeah, Kimberly, she met her mother-in-law, and they kind of decide at the moment to have dinner. And she texts me she's gonna listen the talk. But I want to add something to Michelle. Rochelle. Sorry, I'm like a little kid dyslexic. Sorry. It's yeah, because sometimes I don't say the names correctly, and then I forget the names. And
that's okay.
But you know, it is what it is. My mind is gonna get better. Yep. Michelle, I learned that, you know, like I said, we limit ourselves. What happened is all the emotions, it gets storage in the body, and the people that go through cancer is the epigenetic, right? But mostly is the emotionals or traumas held on the body. So this is to everybody. You know, we're coming 4th of July, they call it, you know, Freedom Day or whatever. But in reality, the freedom is much deeper than the freedom, you know, of the country. It's ourselves, because we need to right now is help everybody to release everything is not beneficial. And that's the best way to say it. Anything is not beneficial. And any trauma or any pain or situation that, you know, you have a fight with someone, just do the Ho'oponopono, release it, learn the lesson, and it's no longer, you know, keep the lesson, and anything is not good, you know, let it go with love. And freedom at this moment, we need to do that, because we need to feel free. Like if you're doing your day different, just to have a little bit of spice in your day, you know, even with a different tea instead to drink coffee, because you give yourself that blessing of try a new tea or a new recipe and taste something good. It's loving yourself. It's something we forgot about that. And this is how we can live with joy, with the simple things. And or share a tea with a friend, you know, invite, hey, you know, people drink wine. I stopped drinking alcohol, and I do the ceremony with the, you know, a juice or a tea or, you know, something different. Doesn't need to be alcohol. But society push you to that kind of, you know, behavior, but you can do with a ceremony of love in a different way. So, and we forget about that. And then that's how you smile. Those animals in the little movie would be smiling if you know, they wake up and they start to do things in a different way. Or even say good morning. You know, I wake up grouchy. I have, yeah, and I walk away. Like, I need my silence until the brain gets accommodated. But, you know, it's work. I have to say it's work because we have a yes, it's work. So that's what I think the people that are sick, and also it's like this, and I test this with the chemtrails. The idea of the plane going above me, it made me sick. The moment I didn't put emotions when I saw the planes above my head and ignore them, I wasn't getting sick the next day. So, and I said, interesting, it's the mind. We create what we focus and what we think, and we don't realize it. You know?
Thank you for that. I see that. And it's true. Which wolf are you going to feed? And I love the things that Jim shared last week, like what's the solution? I just took a lady in 63. She's 63 like me, and she's getting put out of her house, and so I rearranged everything and put her in my living room. And I just tried to share with her, look, this could be a bad thing, yes, but look, we're here together. So which wolf are we going to feed? Are we going to be joyful and have a ball? We're having such a ball together. It's just delightful. So, yeah, and another thing I want to share, too, is the inner work that I've been able to do because my house is crammed with people. It's like we're rubbing shoulders all the time. The inner work has to happen because it's not like I can isolate. So it's really, I see, oh my gosh, look at that. I flared up about that silly thing. Really, does that count more than that person's heart? So I'm learning a lot. And I think that interaction in this group has, just really brought that out even more. So yeah, grateful for that, Estella. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. As we are all in this one together. We are all experiencing the same thing, and nothing is casualty. There is a reason why you're having all this. You're doing a great job, but also at the same time, they are helping you. It's like I always said, my kids were my parents. They were teaching me more than I was trying to teach my kids. You know?
Yes.
So I always remember myself, don't forget, this is an inverted reality. You think this is in this way, but it's the opposite way, the right way.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to call on Sean now, and then I'm going to say goodnight. So you guys have a good evening.
Good night, Phyllis.
Thank you. Thanks. Go ahead, Sean.
Good night, y'all. I got Mark Passio. Says, knowing the truth will make you free. Mark Passio. Good night.
Yeah, I'm gonna go too, but I just want to ask, does anybody else hear those fireworks? Like fireworks going off in their neighborhood?
Sure do. Right now.
Is there a secret war going on that we don't know about?
Well, I'm at the beach, and every day they patrol with these military. That's where I do my exercise now, and these military copters go back and forth, sometimes two of them at a time, back and forth, crazy.
I think that's everywhere because we get them all the time.
It's just strange to me because I don't see any of them in the sky. I just hear it. Like I'll be looking in the sky. Like I was taking a walk the other night, and I was like looking in the sky, and I heard one go off, and I looked in the direction, and I couldn't see it. So it's like
sometimes they're cloaked.
Yeah. Like, who is making fireworks and not letting us see it? I guess if you're doing it, maybe you don't want the cops to see where maybe it's like a flare, that they'll come. But it's also like, well, they can hear the sound, so they know where the firework is going to be around. So
where are you at? Where are you at, Sean?
I'm in Burbank, and I hear it like every night. And I
was up in South Bay a few weeks ago, for about 10 days, and the same thing was happening every night.
Yeah.
Fireworks going off. Couldn't see them.
Yeah.
I just could only assume it was an act of protest.
Or underground, if you see some smoke coming out of the sewers, there's some underground battles going on too, Sean. Maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there's cloaking going on or something. But it's just I'm in such a conspiracy mindset. I'm just like, oh God, like where are those sounds going off? Like that. I feel like there's something going. Because I'm not seeing any. Like if I see it, then I'll be like, okay. But like I'm not seeing any, and I've been hearing it for like we've all been hearing it. And
it's not a rifle. It's not a crack. It's not a ballistic sound. It's a thud.
Yeah, it's like a boom. It's like a boom.
Kind of.
A loud boom. And it's everywhere too. It's not.
Feel it in the ground.
It's not coming from one spot. Like it'll come from around, just around. Like I'll be at my friend's place. That's like
sound cannon.
Yeah, it's like weird. Like I don't know. And I look at Twitter and local Twitter, and people are like, yeah, there's like a lot of fire, and everybody. It's not just me. Like
yeah, there is such thing as a low frequency sound cannon.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Crowd control.
I'm in San Francisco.
Okay, Philip, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in San Francisco next to Golden Gate Park. And, for the last week, every night, there's been a very loud explosion. Boom. This is like, at least an M80, but it's bigger. And then, let's see, this is Wednesday night. I believe it was Monday night. There were Monday morning at 3:52 a.m. I woke up because there was, boom, 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 11 of them in a row, and they were moving, as if they were like moving down the block over here. And then at 4 a.m., just 7 minutes later, there were 13 in a row. And they were in slightly different location, moving, etc. I wasn't the only one hearing them either. I thought, well, am I insane here? And my neighbors above, and I could hear the neighbors next door. Everybody's going to the window and asking, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And looking outside, and nobody could really see anything.
Well, 11 would be 10 rounds in a 10-round clip, one in a chamber. But if it's not a crack, it's a low frequency boom.
I don't know what you mean by low frequency boom.
Well,
I mean,
a rifle
like,
or something will have it's got more of a crack to it, a ballistic round.
Yeah,
Crack.
it sounds like fireworks. Ken, is that not what they do to people in isolation, that they put in isolation? They also set off loud noises to keep them from sleeping?
Yeah, that's MK Ultra, one of their tricks, the music all 24 hours a day, but there's
that's what I don't know if anyone saw the post I put on the page, but that's what this woman was saying about social distancing. Wow. And Thomas also mentioned it. Social distancing was originally created by the CIA.
Yeah,
they used it on the POWs in Vietnam. There was a little clip of John McCain who said that social distancing was worse than the physical abuse that they had to endure when they were in the prison camps.
Yeah, remember the sound cannon would be a low frequency thump. You'd feel it in your chest more. It'd be all around you, wouldn't be localized, but if it was close. But as Sean mentioned, he mentioned lower frequency. He felt it all around him. That sounds more like a sound cannon. You'd feel it in your chest like a sonic. Those of you old enough to remember sonic booms.
Well, Jim, actually, yeah, you're making a good point there about the MK Ultra, because they don't. What I've discovered about MK Ultra is it's not just for some people. It's for everybody. We're all getting MK Ultra with the TV. Everything out there.
AI, yeah, AI's.
Yeah, TV and radio. That's all what it is, and that could be another thing. I mean, maybe not to wake us up in the middle of the night, because I haven't really experienced it in the middle of the night, but just throughout the day, like in the daytime and at nighttime, but not like
fear.
Just
fear
to keep people on edge.
Yeah, maybe just fear.
That's a good point. And it's happening everywhere. So maybe they're just trying to keep people on edge, like, just a little.
That's what they did to the people in, if everyone remembers, Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the group. Rochelle, did you have your hand raised?
I think that was from before.
Okay. Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm just saying, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. But,
yeah,
just keeping people on edge, doing it that way.
Yeah.
Sound
cannons.
Why would you be celebrating now? And also, why wouldn't you put it up in the air? Because I heard a couple, you hear the boom and then you hear the crackle of like a firework, like the little crackle at the end. I haven't heard that for really any of them except for like one the other night. I heard the tiny crackle at the end where you would hear like a firework going off. But we haven't seen them in the sky. So it's like, why are they doing it? Just for like, I guess some people light them off in their backyard for fun. I guess, that's totally possible. But like all throughout the neighborhood, like who's selling these fireworks? I don't see, it's just weird. Like, it's just weird.
Sounds like sound cannons to me, but they're the fireworks, the big ones that go off, they're mortars. And a mortar has a thud and then kaboom. But there's a thud.
Yeah, it's more of a cracking sound.
It is
like fireworks.
Yeah.
After the mortar round.
Estella, did you have your hand raised?
Yeah. Do you guys turn off? Because I've been having weird things, especially with electronics. For example, maybe Ken can answer this. So every night I turn off first my cellular data on the phone, and then I make sure I have Bluetooth off and Wi-Fi off, and then I go to the plane mode, and I put the plane mode. So I kind of double lock it, right? And it's interesting. And then I leave the phone that has the chip. I had two phones, one without chip that I use with Wi-Fi, and another one with a chip that has the cellular data. So I leave that one away from my bedroom, and I had the iPad on the bed, and I walk into the room, and it was off, no lights, and the bedroom was dark, and the iPad comes on when I walk in.
Yeah, I can answer that. AI is like a unknowingness cornered mass of jumbled insanity. It's coming out in, and I'm not the only one that noticed this as well. These kind of handset telephones, I take the battery out. I've got an old 2-wire hooked up. Any electronics you can put in a microwave, unplug it, of course, I suggest, and put a little tag on the handle. But you can also take your cellular phones, make sure that you put them in a Ziploc bag, first of all, and then take a sheet of foil that will envelop the whole phone. But you crumple the foil up first, and then you open it. And this is even with the phone off. And this goes for your iPad, too, because they can turn that on and off.
I turn it off, and in the morning it's on.
Yeah, if you don't have security, a second firewall, they can go bust right through. But you can take your iPad or your phones, but you've got to have them in a plastic bag for insulation, and then crumpled up foil around them, even when they're turned off. Some people pull the batteries out, but there's a little round watch battery in it. It's still powered up. So, and you can
What
shut
about
off.
to put it in a can?
You've got to have, microwaves can penetrate steel. You've got to have, depending upon the power and where your smart meter is.
Oh, far away. Yeah.
Okay.
I pay for the analog. I remove the smart meter.
Okay, good for
Me
you.
too.
Good for you. Well, if the crumpled up foil thing is when you open up that foil on your cell phone or your iPad is in a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag that insulates it from the foil. It's like a stealth aircraft. It reflects the microwaves in all different directions, and it can't transmit or receive or give its location. So some people may want to wait until they're outside their home and they take it out and turn up everything back on again. But that'll work for you. I don't know if you've seen the video where the guy calls his cell phone ringed with a steel wool with just standard steel wool, and the steel wool starts burning up. I mean, there is stuff there. When I disconnected this, the amperage has gone up. I felt it because I'm electrically that way because electrocuted.
Yeah.
Back. And I had my earbuds on to my Mac, and I was listening to a full volume audio signal from the Mac, and I was feeling, well, what is it? There's a negative vibration coming through here, and it's really powerful. So I went to this guy, and I unplugged the batteries and unplugged the master. When I unplugged the batteries and took them out, even with a full signal volume from the Mac, it went snap. So
Wow.
the
Well,
power's been kicked like the 5.7 or 57, maybe it's a little higher in 2.4 gigahertz.
The reason why I'm asking this because I watched that Life Force. I was in the call, and I got disconnected like several times, and then I grabbed my phone and I walk away, and I received like a pain in my left side of my brain, like a needle, but a sharp pain.
That's a gin. Yeah. That's Jim. Jim can answer that one, I'm sure. Thomas talked about them. That is somebody's internal gin. Jim, you got anything to say about it?
No,
Go ahead, Estelle. I'm not sure what you're.
I don't think it's a genie or something like that. I think it was an electrical signal they sent to me, and I didn't want to be kind of fear, but I've been getting these phone calls and I don't answer and decline it. But then even when I was pushing to decline, I start to make all these sounds.
Yeah.
Like
You're over the target. You're receiving flack, Estella. That happens. Laugh it off and shut them off. I put them in a Ziploc bag if I were you, and crumple up your foil. Do that.
Yeah,
routine.
I think I made them mad because I know how it works, and I don't answer.
Yeah.
I just
And unplug
learned.
your wireless. Unplug all your modems. All of
Yes.
them. And if you got any of these things, unplug them
No.
and take the batteries out.
Yeah, the laptops and all. No, I am the only one at the last. When everybody goes to bed, I unplug everything. Otherwise, my family doesn't do it. I'm I call it the psycho. But
None of that ever happens to me. I don't let them in. Vicky, you have your hand raised?
Yeah. Yeah, so as far as the booms and stuff, I had a thought as well. All these underground tunnels, there's different kinds of booms, and more of them are like they have like a little earthquake or whatever, but we get those, and it's not fireworks, and it's not cloaked things, because we have 2 Air Force bases where I live. There's one Vandenberg, and there's one like right off in Oxnard, Port Hueneme, whatever. And we have like where Ojai is, there's like a river bottom, and from the ocean and the river bottom, they do some kind of maneuvers and they go straight. They fly really low, and there's houses on both sides, and I don't know what they're doing because the further they go, there's mountains again, and it goes all the way over to the 5, okay, towards Sacramento, and there's stuff going on right now over there, and we don't know. We're not privy. But the other part of that is in Los Padres National Forest, we're fighting right now because they're calling it clear cut some area when actually they've found uranium there. If they get the go for that, this whole town, you know what's going to happen with the clear cut and the fracking. It's going to suck. So like they're still running amok, and I shouldn't have put that out there, but I'm just like, ugh. It's like, no, I'm going to have to snap that all off and
cancel.
Yeah. But it's like, I see it and it's like, God, can't we just have a break? Can we just go forward happily? Come on. Sorry, I just had to say that. Okay.
You can if you want to.
Well, Kim mentioned about the BLM land exactly what you just said, that there were a group from the Arabics or the NATO or some, I don't know which group she mentioned, but something not from this country, and they're doing that with all the natural resources.
Right, I know they're trying to strip him, but I thought that we had a bunch of people on the planet too working for us.
Yeah.
Besides us.
Yeah. They may be mapping, they may have, if you had power outages, you discussed, they may be mapping tunnels or mapping stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe positive.
Oh, yeah.
I talked to Kimberly, and she's going to teach us, or maybe even you can, to maybe every time we do the meeting, we do a little bit of 5 minutes and minutes to work energetically, creating protections, and because Kimberly said we can. She says, how she says with the sword of the Creator, and she put it in the ground, and she says this is not allowed. Boom. And she told me, yeah, we're very powerful. The group is good. We're good in California. We need to, and so we kind of talk and say, well, maybe we try to kind of tune and focus all together for the protection of the whole south, north, east, west of California.
And any stragglers that want to move out? Bill, me, Demi, who else? No, I'm sorry. We still get to be part of the group?
Yeah, but I don't know. Even Bill said he wants to move out of California. I don't know what's going to happen with California. I love where I am, but I just want peace too.
Yes.
It's going to be okay, but if not, it's going to be okay. I mean, that's just up to us. But, geez, clear, shields up, firewall.
Okay.
Yes. Anyone else?
Not much. Just imagine like, I guess what I'm trying to say is visualize the future timeline you're going into.
Yeah.
That's also
run the video. Yeah.
That's also something Kim said, like, another thing that helps is just visualize what you want to see, what kind of world you want. Because if you're just concentrating on the world that is, you're not really making any progress, in your world at least. So just help visualize what you want to see. That's at least
you nail it. That's the Vision 2020. We're supposed to focus, right? Like the eyes is perfect vision. That's the vision for this year, 2020.
Yeah, that's what the second half of this year is going to be, making it. The first half was figuring out where we were, figure out where we are, and now let's figure out how to, make some stuff, make the solutions. You know, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I think the group project we're gonna work, I think we can put it all the focus there,
Yep,
you know.
agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna head out, but it was great talking, guys.
Okay, we'll start that group mind call next week.
Yep.
And thanks everyone who took the time to listen to the Your Wish is Your Command audios.
Yeah, did that.
We will be using that on our group mind call and manifesting whatever we want. Keeping it fun, playful.
Yeah.
So thanks
Good.
everyone. And
Thank
go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Thank
Estella.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
I cease and desist from bothering Estella. She can't stop it herself. Everybody agree to cease and desist whatever's attacking Estella. Say yes.
Yes.
Cease and desist.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
Now.
you.
Yes.
Now.
Right now.
Now.
To all.
Now and
Done.
forevermore.
Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
entire group.
All right.
Thanks everyone.
All right.
All right. Love you guys.
Appreciate you all coming.
Happy 4th of July,
Good night.
guys.
Bye.
Yeah, me too.
Appreciate you, Jim. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night.
Wow.